It's a wonderful Monday morning. We're in 1 Peter 3:17. Grab your good cup of coffee there. It reads, "For it is better, if the will of God be so, that ye suffer for well doing than for evil doing." Suffering means to endure hardship or to be afflicted. One is suffering physically, emotionally, or in their spiritual well-being in all areas of their life. Now, this verse is the third of suffering principles, what I like to think of it as. And we also notice that each of the three principles build on each other, and this is the last principle here. Notice, first of all, we will all suffer. That is, we will all be afflicted. No one escapes suffering. No one escapes at all. James actually states this in the same way. James 1:2 says, "My brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into divers temptations." When ye fall, that's not if ye fall, but when ye fall. And divers temptation means many diverse trials of suffering there. So when one comes to Christ, one does not escape suffering. But it does change what suffering does to you. Which brings us to our second principle. You see, when suffering takes place, it's not by accident, it's by design of God's will. You see, as a believer, we are privileged. And one of the privileges is that the only things that we suffer is for our benefit. It is to correct us, to mold us, to make us more like Jesus Christ. See, even Romans 8:28 explains that. "And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, who are called according to his purpose," there. So we can also find it in Hebrews chapter 12. I believe it's 4 through 8 as well. The third principle, which is what this scripture is mostly dealing with, is simply this. When the believer suffers, it's better to suffer for doing right or being right than for doing wrong. See, it is better means there is a contrast between the types of suffering. Now, neither suffering is pleasant, yet suffering for right glorifies God and encourages others to live and walk with God. While suffering for doing wrong, you just get corrected because of your foolishness. And you're not encouraging anyone. And you're definitely not glorifying God. So when you suffer, let it be for doing the right thing. What a blessing and what eternal rewards there will be for suffering for righteous sake. This is Pastor Bart Getz at Faith Baptist Church in Farmington, Missouri. Have a great day, a great week. God bless you as he grants you wisdom